hosted. I would like to remind everyone this meeting of the Go Team. Only members may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public are here to quietly observe. I want to call the meeting to order at 4:34. Ms. Baker, will you kindly take the roll for us, please?
Happily, I shall do so. Dr. Maxwell,
Present.
Mr. Abernathy,
Present.
Mrs. Baker is present. Ms. Poe,
Present.
Ms. Schultz,
Present.
Ms. Keenan,
Present.
Ms. Lewis,
Present.
Ms. Walker, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. Jones.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, we do have a quorum today. So the first order of business is to approve the agenda. Let me know when I have a motion to approve.
This is
Ms.
Mrs. Baker. I make a motion to approve.
Ms. Baker with the motion in 1 second.
This is Chelsea Schultz, and I second that.
All right, Ms. Schultz. So Ms. Baker motion, Schultz has seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, next is the approval of the previous minutes. Let me know when I have a motion to approve.
This is Tanisha Poe, motion to approve.
Ms. Poe with a motion. Do I have a second?
Jennifer Keenan, second.
Ms. Keenan. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. So now we're on to discussion items, traffic and transportation. Ms. Keenan, you have the floor.
Great. I have good news all around on traffic and transportation. Councilman Faroki has introduced legislation to put in a stop sign at Randolph and John Wesley Dobbs, as well as Irwin and Howell. So both of those intersections will have, well, John Wesley Dobbs, it'll be a three-way stop because it's a three-way intersection. And Howell and Irwin will be a four-way stop. The stop sign should be in within the next 60 to 90 days. Also good news on our flashing crosswalk sign for Magruder and Randolph. The equipment is here. It is in the possession of Atlanta DOT. Atlanta DOT has done the markings on the sidewalk to indicate where it's going to be put in. So that should be installed within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully this week. I'm really pushing them to try to do it this week while we're on virtual. And all the other traffic and transportation safety updates that we had worked on over the last year have all been implemented. So these are just the final projects and they should be done in the near future.
That's great to hear. Great to hear.
And so you think that will be done before the end of the school year?
No, 60 days.
Okay, just asking.
Oh, you said all good news, and she's
I
like,
know. I was like,
no.
all right.
Okay,
No.
I think the flashing beacon, definitely. Oh yes, the flashing crosswalk, definitely. The stop signs,
Not so
probably
much.
not. Yeah.
But next fall, next
Oh,
fall, that'll
okay.
all be,
Yes.
we have all the kids back. So that's just, I think, better news than we even thought with not one, but both stop signs at those two places. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet the stop signs will be in June.
Okay. That's good to hear because I was wondering if everything was going to be in place by the time all the students came back.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Anything for Ms. Keenan? All right. Next on to the FELT meeting. Ms. Antone, you have the floor.
Ms. Anton, I'm going to stop sharing so that you can share your screen. Miss Antone, you're on mute. I don't know if you're, just to make sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
But good afternoon, everyone. This will be very brief, but just want to share with you where we are with our family engagement leadership team. We met on March 10th, and we had a good number of representatives there in terms of our parents and community members, as well as the teachers. I think we had between 13 and 14 individuals there. And we were able to hear from Ms. Keenan, who shared all of our actions this year up to that point. And also we were able to hear from Mr. Jones in terms of what the committee worked on last year and how far they were able to get with trying to get family engagement as well. And so we ended up going into breakout rooms, and these were the three areas that we address that will get us going in the right direction as we plan to be at a good place to begin next year. So we looked at executing strategic family engagement, where one group brainstormed notes in terms of describing how we will utilize the family engagement leadership team to execute strategic family engagement goals, desired outcomes, and action steps to support student success. And then the second group, they took lots of notes as they had to describe how we are currently utilizing community organizations and partnerships and local businesses to support families with essential needs. And then the third group, they focused on collaborating with family, and they brainstormed what ways do our parents, staff, and school leaders work together to strengthen the school and build a family-friendly community. And they worked really hard. There is so much that was generated from that meeting, and they shared out. However, where we're headed now, we do have our second meeting on this Wednesday from 3:30 to 4:30. And what we are looking at doing this week is, each group will get back together, and based on all the information that was generated from our last meeting in those three groups, we're gonna set goals or come up with some proposed goals from each group. And then I'll be taking those proposed goals back to our leadership team at the school building so that we can kind of prioritize and look at where we want to start next year. At least we will have everything in terms of what we need to focus on. It'll be just a matter of prioritizing, because we definitely came up with a lot in that meeting. And so I do thank all of our participants and attendees, as there was so much valuable information shared there. And so stay tuned. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Antone. And I know we had a lot of staff participation, and this is such a tough year just because of everything that's happening. So just really pleased with everyone, including our staff, because, it just, it can turn into just to be another meeting, but it was, it sounded like definitely it was not only well attended, but you accomplished a lot. So just thank the staff also. So thank you, Ms. Antone.
Yeah, and some very in-depth discussions on Dr. Maxwell, and because we had such a variety of individuals, from counseling to deans to our ESOL coordinator, teacher, there was just so much. And with our parents, that was brought to the forefront of things that we should address. It was really good. So I do appreciate all of the feedback.
That's great. Thank you, Ms. Antone, for heading that up.
And Dr. Maxwell, I'll just make a comment. Ms. Antone did an amazing job leading the meeting too, and facilitating the discussion. Since we had so many people, it could have, I think, gotten a little chaotic, but she kept everyone on track, and it was really great. It was a great meeting, and she did a really, really nice job leading it.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Keena.
You're welcome.
Coach, you may go ahead with the principal's report.
Oh yeah, Dr. Maxwell, it's on you.
Okay. So some of this will be more in depth, I think, than others. And so the lunch and learn that's happening, and actually it is, and I'm going to put this in my announcements tomorrow, and PTO will talk about it. It's actually going to go at 11:30 instead of noon, and that's just because we want to discuss mostly the milestones, but also the end of the year celebration for each grade level. And even though Dr. Harper did have her own meeting, own end of the year 8th grade meeting, I do want her to just basically do a recap. And there is a grade level meeting that starts at noon. So we're starting at 11:30. So Dr. Harper will start with the 8th grade end of the year, some dates, and then just kind of recap. She's doing some very cool things, including trying to get a DJ, or not a DJ, but a band at the end of the year. So so hopefully cross our fingers that we'll be able to do that. But then we'll also talk about 7th grade and 6th grade. I know Miss Antone even talked today a little bit about some ideas that the 6th grade leadership team has. And so we'll discuss that, but then mostly milestones. Milestones, to put it simply, is it's very difficult to create a schedule with where we are right now. And so it's going to be finalized on Tuesday, but we want to talk to the staff on Wednesday. And I think I've said this before. I mean, we really always want to try to tell the staff what's happening first, and then the parents in the community. So Wednesday, we'll talk about the calendar and the information on this, basically the schedule to the staff on Wednesday. And then Friday, we will have it in the lunch and learn. I know that, I mean, just to give you one instance of, issues, is that you have virtual students who are taking the milestones, virtual students who are not taking the milestones, in-person students who are taking the milestone, in-person students who are not taking the milestone. And so it can be very difficult as far as what that looks like. And there is going to be some asynchronous time, but, and we're going to talk to the staff, but some asynchronous time that is a little bit more robust, definitely, than maybe on Wednesdays, but it's definitely something that we're going to finalize, and we'll get that information as it starts with 7th and 8th graders on April the 26th. Do want to reiterate to everyone, anybody that's watching now, I know this is getting recorded, is that milestones will not have any effect, positive or negative, of any type of placement. And I think there's been a few questions by parents who say, oh, will it have a positive impact? Like, will you look at that if maybe a student is close on a placement issue? And again, it will not have any effect, but either positive or negative. The milestones will not. And so that is what's going to happen in Lunch and Learn. Go Team candidate and member update. I think I'm pretty sure we have 4 parent candidates. Angela Lewis will be going off. Unfortunately, she's been here since the beginning, I think, of the Inman/Howard Go Team. And so we have 4 candidates, and I feel like that voting hasn't started yet. And when does the voting start? I don't know. I don't know if anybody has that date yet when the voting starts.
No, we haven't set the date firmly yet. We're still working with our vendor to get that set up. So
okay,
it will be before the end of the school year this year. We promise we are not holding it over again. And you guys have 5 parent candidates and 1 staff candidate.
Oh, great. Okay, 5. So we have 5 and then 1. So I have a feeling that that Mr. Webb will at least get 1 vote, and so he will be the candidate for Ms. Schultz. And we're sorry to see Ms. Schultz go, but and she's been great for us on the Go Team these past few years. So Mr. Webb, I'm sure, will be replacing her, and that is the update for the Go Team. Academic recovery program update. And so a couple things that are happening in regards to academic recovery. First of all, Janae Wilson, our 8th grade math teacher, and Tracy Holmes, Dr. Holmes and Miss Wilson, they will have a period off of, they have 4 sections, and math has 16 sections in 8th grade, and ELA has 16 sections. So So there'll be 15 sections in math and ELA. And so they will take a period off to work. They'll get a stipend and then also take their time during that period to work on making sure that our students, that the students who need the academic recovery, that are, whether it was a connectivity or I shouldn't say or issues in ELA and math not on level, and basically those focusing on those two subjects, then they'll be working to make sure and looking at data and making sure those students are on the right track. And we have different ways that we're doing this. And I think I've had that conversation with all of you before, but we're working hard on the Saturday program, and that's going to be ramping up, and we're going to, I think, have a lot of interest from our staff to be like basically the principal and the assistant principal of that Saturday program. And so I'm hoping, I would say, by the next Go Team meeting in May, that we would announce those two staff members. We'll also have a TIP program, virtual after school. We'll also have our intervention block that we've been doing this year in advisory, where all the district will have to do an intervention block next year, and we have that in place. And then we have the summer school. So summer school is something that in the May board meeting and the May Go Team meeting, Miss Antone, if she's still on here, that Dr. Harper and Miss Antone, they are in charge of summer school. And so you have to have a lead administrator and an assistant administrator in summer school. Miss Antone and Dr. Harper decided to split that salary and that time. And so they will basically partner as the lead, and then the assistant will be Dr. Holmes. And so they will be in charge of Howard students in that 4-week program. That's a program that will be by invitation, but also if any student wants to use that time, then they'll be able to sign up for summer school. And so they're going to be in charge of it. They're actually going to be trained. When I say they, definitely Miss Antone and Dr. Harper will be, we'll start getting training this week in this the summer school program. And there was something else. Oh, and then also we will have King students. And so just to let you know, and I might have said this at our last meeting, but just to make sure that everyone knows, redundancy is sometimes a good thing, is that our school building may not be used every year, but this year it is being used. And so if your school building is being used, then you might have more than your students. And so it will be King students and Howard students. And we're putting those students on different floors. But Paul Brown, who's the principal at King, made a really good suggestion. And the head of the summer program, which is Cedric Smith, has agreed. And so King will have a lead and an assistant lead administrator in charge of King students. So Miss Antone, Dr. Harper, and Dr. Holmes will just be in charge of our Howard students, how many ever those students will be. And then we, and along with the district, will start having postings for summer school teachers. And so that is, I think, everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm looking at my notes for the academic recovery update. The update on the fourth quarter is basically what I said in Lunch and Learn. We're going to talk about that on Friday, the end of the year, and the milestones. I will say, because it's not in the agenda, but it is kind of a part of the fourth quarter in that it happened in the fourth quarter, and that was the Inman meeting. There wasn't, Dr. Herring did have an Inman meeting. We had a lot of really good feedback. I think we had over 200, I think almost at one point over 250 community members, and that was teachers, parents from K to 12 that were a part of that. We had some feedback and got into breakout. Did we get into breakout rooms? Yeah, got into breakout rooms. And so I'm sorry, we had 2 meetings back to back. We had the Grady, we had both those meetings back to back. I thought, yeah, both of them had breakout rooms. So anyway, yeah, Dr. Herring got that feedback, gathered that feedback. And so hopefully it even had a timeline on when that decision was going to be made, and that there will be, Inman, whatever that, if it's K5 or 4 or 5, that will be online in the fall of 22. And so I think that's good news for the Grady and next year, the Midtown cluster. And so that was a productive meeting, along with the Grady cluster conversation meeting, as far as reimagining, and Dr. Herring was able to talk a little bit about where she wants to see APS in the next few years. So I thought that was a productive meeting also. I think that's it for the fourth quarter. Again, I'm just looking at my notes. And then the update on the 21-22 school year would be just that we're going 5 days a week. I mean, I think that's something that got a lot of parent feedback that was, that we really needed to go 5 days a week, not 4 days, 5 days of instruction. And that's definitely going to happen. There will be a virtual option that it looks like will be more a district option and not a school option. So like the school wouldn't be running the virtual program. Obviously they could choose ABA, and ABA is something that's definitely not something that the school organizes or runs. And so, but I think even the virtual model will be something that will be run by the district. And I think the other positive news about the 21-22 school year is we're having conversations about celebrating the opening of the building and having the alumni there. And, we're already looking at dates for that weekend before we start, where the alumni have their cookout, where they will be able to see the building and view the building. And so that's tentatively set as, things are looking up as far as from the social distance and from, all of the, everything that's happening with the community, and that we can go more business as usual this next fall. And so I know that the alumni are excited about that, and we're working on a weekend, and we're hoping that the basketball court will be dedicated to Walt Frazier, and Walt Frazier will be there. And so we're definitely, working towards that, and having a ribbon cutting and everything that the kind of the plans that were put on hold for this past year. And so we're starting to have conversations about that. The alumni wing, by the way, once I get the banners up, it's already looking outstanding, but it's just going to be beautiful. And they have something I will share it with you that I just think is so cool. And they actually bought 2 kiosks. And basically what they did is they electronically scanned. They will every yearbook. Right now, I think they have about half the yearbooks. And so you can click on the yearbook, and when you click on the yearbook, it pops up, and then you can just scroll. So it's like 152 pages, and you can zoom in, zoom out, and you're going to be able to see that along with other videos and some other things at this kiosk. But and they're so excited because I asked them, I said, so is anybody else in that in APS? And like, no, they were the first ones. And so they're definitely excited about, they've already purchased that, and they're going to put that in the alumni wing. So it's going to be exciting once we can do the proper celebration for our community and for the alumni of David T. Howard. So that is A, B, C, D, and E, and I'll just pause if you have any questions on any of those or elaborate any of those topics.
Dr. Maxwell, I just have a comment for fourth quarter. I know you're going to present more details on Friday. I know initially you were hoping that maybe the kids would have 2 transitions, or you had mentioned that. So I just hope that's still being considered and still on the table, even though there's just a few weeks left. But again, I understand there's a million moving pieces and milestones might make it even more difficult, but just something to keep in mind as you're working through the plans for the remaining weeks.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good comment. And what I will say is that, why we haven't really thought too much about it before the break is that we had quite a bit of COVID positive cases. And so at one point, I think I've told some people is that for 2 weeks, I've been subbing into the connections classes, right? So I was a dance instructor. I didn't do any dance moves. I didn't do any dancing, but I was Mr. Baker for a week, and I didn't want to mess him up. Actually, that's what I told Mr. Baker. But yeah, so we've had some of those, and luckily, just to say, like, everybody's fine, and we're so excited that we talked to the leadership team today that this next Monday, everybody will be back. They've been quarantined. We're having an extra week, so we're definitely hoping for that. We were even thinking about it before break if we could do something like that, but there was just no way because of we basically had, I think, 4 or 5 more teachers that were temporarily quarantining. So, but we'll definitely look at that. Other comments or questions?
Just one other question, and again, I think you're going to address it on Friday, but and you might just want to wait till Friday. But if a child is in person at school and they're not taking a milestone on a specific day, are they going to still be allowed to come to school? In other words, will kids only be able to get in the building if they're taking a milestone that day?
I'm going to talk about that on Friday.
Okay.
Because that's where it is that you, like I said, you have 4 different types of students.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get the calendar and we're trying to look at it so it also makes sense. And I just really want to talk to our staff about it first to see if they have any questions or concerns.
Okay, that makes sense. Will each child, Dr. Maxwell froze.
Yeah, I think he's freezing.
Oh. Will each child receive, I guess, all the specific dates that they're taking the particular milestone, correct? Because, like, if you look at the calendar, there's 4 days for 7th graders to take ELA. And I don't think my 7th grader is taking the milestones all 4 days. She'd only take 2 of the 4 days. That's something I'm really confused about. And I hope that's sorted out. Or Miss Baker, you're an ELA teacher. Do they take 4 days of milestones or just 2?
We normally do 2, but we've decided, I'm not sure because I don't know why, but the 2 days have turned into 4 days. So instead of taking 1 day to take a test, kids are taking 2 days.
Oh, okay. I thought you were breaking them into 2 groups.
I'm not sure, but
we'll find out Friday.
And I don't know if I'm allowed to speak, but if you all want me to answer a question, I will.
Yeah, go ahead, Miss Anton.
Okay. I do believe I remember Ms. Allen saying that she'll be sending out, updated student letters because we have been in talks about how we want the test to be situated, with our leadership team that included, various department heads and whatever. But students will receive updates in terms of what testing will look like so that it will be clear. That's supposed to be forthcoming from my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
can I ask a question actually? How many students that are virtual signed up to come to school to take the test?
I'm not sure if he's froze again or not.
Hear me?
Doc, you look like you're froze on our screen and you're real scrambled when you're talking.
Dr. Maxwell, turn off your camera and try to do audio only. I think we lost him completely.
Yeah, he might be
think we
going
did.
other way.
I mean, Miss Antone, do you know the answer to that question?
So I remember her reviewing that, but off the top of my head, I'm sorry, I don't have that off the top of my head. But there is definitely a number. I know they had to make that selection by April 1st, I do believe. And so we could definitely, I know he has it. We could definitely get that information to you.
Okay. Hey,
Can
Doc,
you
you
hear
back
me
with
now?
us? Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
just put myself on my hotspot. So I don't know if Miss Antone answered that, but I think that approximately 150 students. Miss Antone, do you know the number? But I think that's a number that I saw.
Yeah, I was thinking it was around there. I knew it wasn't, a very, very large number, but I remember it being around there, but I just didn't want to give out misinformation.
I want to say it's 153, but I mean, that's a number that I keep.
Sounds very close, yes.
Yeah.
And so is it mainly 6th grade or 8th grade? I mean, what's the grade level breakdown?
I don't know that, Miss Baker. I mean, that's definitely something Miss Allen can talk about on Wednesday when she talks about how we're going to do that. I know the one thing that we've tried to do, and we listened to our leadership team. It was a 100%, I think, is where basically we're going to take the test 2 days and then 2 days not have the test. So we have a longer period of time, and so we just didn't want to test every day. And so, but that's all going to come out. We're going to show it what a typical day would be like. And then if there's any asynchronous time, basically we're doing it where the teacher can support, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So it'll all make sense on Wednesday or Friday. But we really looked at the leadership team. When I say the leadership team, the ELT, which was basically, we were led by the content leads and the grade level lead teachers. And so yeah, we feel like it's a good plan. We'll talk about it on Wednesday, and then we'll definitely talk about it in details on Friday. But we'll show not only what a day would look like when there's testing, but also we'll show you the calendar and like, oh, Monday, this is what's happening. 6th grade's doing this on this day, 7th on this day. And so basically from April 26th until, that last day in May with testing. It's not ideal, but basically what we're going to try to do, and that's when I froze, and that's what I was going to try to tell Ms. Keenan when she asked the question, is our goal is to not lose instructional time, the least amount of instructional time lost as we're working through these milestones. Any other questions or comments?
All right, Ms. Poe, do we have any public comments or anything? No? Okay, gotcha. So I think we were going to announce for our announcements about the Wine and Dine.
Yeah, so the Wine and Dine. Yeah, the Wine and Dine is a week from Thursday. Miss Poe is going to help me on that. I'm going to MC, and Miss Poe is going to help me. Like it's going to be, like Pat Sajak and Vanna White a little bit, and it's going to start at 7 p.m. and it's going to be a fundraiser. It's not a raffle, it's a drawing. It is a drawing. We cannot say the word raffle, which I understand. So it's a drawing. And we
but Jacoby is correct.
Yep. Yeah. And so
in fairness, you could pay $100 to Fulton County Sheriff and get a license to hold raffles for a year. So you have to get a license to do bingo too. So it's state law.
All right. Well, it will be a drawing, and so yeah, we're excited about it. And it's basically from the Wine and Dine last March, where we were going to have a drawing, and with COVID, and so we're doing it all virtually. I think we don't expect this much money, but Grady had a really good time, and it was an excellent fundraiser. And I think they made over $50,000. So that was
wow,
very, very cool.
Okay.
Very great for and I
thought
think
he was going to say 5.
I think no 50.
And, I know. I thought you were going to say like 5,000. I was like 50.
Well, there was amazing stuff. I mean, there was like trips all over the country. Like this was major. So people were putting in big money to get those trips.
And I think Mr. Baker had some. Did Mr. Baker help with that? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I know some neighbors did.
Yeah.
I won some things in the drawing. That's all I'll say.
So yeah, that's going to be next Thursday, and that's all I've got.
Okay. So our next meeting is May 10th, and I know that's our last meeting. Mr. Jacoby, how do we handle, I guess, the last meeting going into summer? Because I know last year we were not able to have those last couple of meetings because of COVID. So I wasn't sure how we were supposed to work that last meeting.
So, one, my suggestion is, depending on where we are in the election cycle, I would highly recommend, because we'll be releasing the candidates before then, make sure that you invite all the candidates if we haven't completed the election cycle, so that they can sort of get a feel for what's going on. Any strategic plans are going to be coming up in the fall, so any data that Dr. Maxwell may have would be a good way to kind of transition that team, kind of like, hey, this is where we think we're ending. We'll have more data come fall. And then I will reach out to my colleagues to see if anything else is coming down the pike. Luckily this year, I don't think there's going to be any changes to your budget. I mean, last year, part of the problem was that COVID hit and there were huge budget adjustments in May. So yeah, I will be reaching out to all of the chairs and all with information if they're going to have any more meetings. So. Okay.
I just wanted to double check and make sure.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Mr. Jacoby, I have a question regarding, this is sort of related to publishing the agenda and open meetings and all of that. If we were to have a virtual meet and greet social hour of our new Go team, in July, is that, if it's just purely social to get to know the new members, is there any issue with that?
As long as it is purely social, it's like we tell you all in training, like if you are all to go to the girls' basketball game and sit together, make sure you're only talking about basketball. Don't conduct business, don't talk about, oh, we need to set our meeting calendar. Oh, we need to set, just keep that off the table and just kind of, yep, we'll talk about that in a meeting. Tell me about your children. Tell me about, your dog or your cat. So yeah, if it's social, it's fine. But just be very cognizant that you'll have a quorum and you don't want to talk business.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gotcha. So anything else for the good of the order? All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn. Tanisha Poe.
Ms. Poe, we have a second?
I will make a motion. I would second that.
All right. Motion by Ms. Poe, second by Ms. Baker. All right. We are officially adjourned. Everybody have a great rest of the day and enjoy some of this beautiful weather.